Picture this. You're talking to someone every single day. You laugh together, you make plans. Maybe you start catching feelings. And then, nothing. No text, no call, no explanation. They just vanished. And you're left sitting there with one question that won't let you sleep. What did I do wrong? There's a name for this. Psychologists call it ghosting. The person didn't die, they just decided to become invisible to you, and this isn't some rare thing that happens to unlucky people. Research shows that 1 in 4 adults has ghosted someone at least once, and 1 in 2 has been on the receiving end. That means someone in your life, right now, while you're watching this, has either already ghosted you or is about to. But why? Why do people choose silence over one simple, "Hey, I need some space"? Let's get into it. Reason 1. They're more afraid of conflict than they are of hurting you. Psychologists call this conflict avoidance. These people built a very simple rule early in life. If I tell the truth, things get worse. Maybe honesty got them punished. Maybe they watched conversations turn into blow-ups. So, for them, going silent isn't cruelty, it's self-protection. The problem is they never learned to tell the difference. Reason 2. Avoidant attachment style. John Bowlby, one of the founders of attachment theory, described a pattern in people who learned very early that closeness is dangerous. When a relationship starts feeling too real, too deep, too much, their nervous system doesn't say, "This is good," it says, "Run." And the only way they know how to run is to disappear, completely, without a word. Reason 3. They genuinely don't know what they want. Sometimes a ghoster isn't cold or calculating, they're just drowning. They're overwhelmed, confused, barely holding it together. And explaining themselves to you feels impossible because they can't even explain it to themselves. They're not running from you, they're running from everything. Reason 4, and this one's uncomfortable. Some people use silence as a power move. Psychologists call it quiet control. They pull back and wait. If you reach out first, they feel significant. If you don't, they move on to someone else. For these people, disappearing isn't an exit. It's a test. And either way, they win. Now let's talk about something that doesn't get said enough. What actually happens to the person who got left without an explanation? Neuroscientists at Columbia University scanned the brains of people who'd experienced social rejection. And what they found was striking. The same regions that activate when you feel physical pain lit up. Exactly the same ones. So when someone ghosts you, you're not being dramatic. You're not too sensitive. You are literally in pain. Your brain is processing it the same way it would process a broken bone. And here's the trap. A brain that hasn't been given closure starts manufacturing it. It replays every conversation. It hunts for the moment you messed up. Psychologists call this rumination, a mental loop that can run for months without stopping. You're not weak for going through this. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do, searching for meaning in a place where meaning was deliberately withheld. What do you do with all of this? First, stop trying to find logic in something that was never logical. A person who disappeared without a word didn't leave you a puzzle to solve. They showed you their level of emotional maturity, and that is information. Second, don't send the final message. I know how badly you want to, but reaching out into the silence doesn't give you closure. It extends the pain. Give yourself one rule, one message, then silence on your end too. Third, take back the narrative. Therapists know this well. Healing starts the moment you shift the question. Not, "Why did they do this to me?" but What does this tell me about the kind of people I want in my life? Being ghosted is not your ending. It's someone else's inability to be honest. Those are two very different things. Here's the strangest thing about people who ghost. They think disappearing is a consequence-free exit, that they walked away clean, that nothing broke. But psychology tells a different story. Every time someone chooses silence over honesty, they erode something in themselves. Their capacity for real intimacy shrinks. Their relationships get shorter. Their loneliness gets heavier. They don't get away with it. They just don't know they're paying the price. And you. Now you know enough to stop looking for fault in yourself where there was never any fault to find. If this video hit close to home, drop one word in the comments. Ghost. I read every single one.